Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some very intriguing information when it comes to the PlayStation 5 games coming out in the near future, same with the Xbox and PC. We actually have some major news and one of the most anticipated games that I personally am on the lookout for. And this is in regards to Elden Ring, where we actually have so much more information, some good big confirmations, and as well, throughout this video, I'm going to show you guys up a little bit of gameplay too as well that's been kind of floating around. There's actually a really big 2022 Taipei. You know, most YouTubers would probably just add that out. I'm going to keep that in there because that was just that awful. Taipei Game Show announcement that actually had a chance to go and talk about the game, give a lot more details, and also see some early gameplay. And as you guys know, Elden Ring is probably one of my most anticipated games of this year so far, and I'm 100% going to be streaming it, so make sure you guys follow up on Twitter and Twitch. But the one big thing is we actually have a lot more information coming out from it, as well as a little bit more PlayStation general gaming news too when it comes to Uncharted and the PlayStation game size, as well as also been kind of moving around a decent bit when it comes to Japan. So very intriguing stuff, but more so a little bit of an Elden Ring news because all this news is absolutely huge to me. So leave your comments and thoughts down below if you guys personally will be going and checking out Elden Ring and playing it yourselves, because this game is looking phenomenal. And I made sure to go get some segments out of the actual live stream itself that's not like too copywritten, and as well also on top of that, not too spoilery too as well. So you should be fine to go and see that in case you guys, well, you know, want to be spoiled by the game itself. Just a little teeny baby little taste of the gameplay itself. So a lot of stuff to go talk about, so let's go talk about it. As well, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on, as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. Also the brand new Samsung links down below. Check those on out, on sale, good prices, and the Amazon links too as well for the PS5 Digital Console controller. Twitter and Twitch stream as well, link down below, and sign up for that Weeble down below. Let's go dive in the video itself. So first and foremost, before we actually showcase up any segments of gameplay for Elden Ring, let's go talk about the astronomically good news for this. Now, if you guys don't know Elden Ring, it's from the same folks from FromSoft, who basically actually made a lot of really big games. All the Dark Souls games, Demon Souls games, Bloodborne, Sekiro, and overall, at least to me, this, along with Horizon, I am so astronomically hyped up for, because I can't wait to play. I think February is going to be a very good month for games and games alike, also with Dying Light 2 as well. There's a lot of good stuff floating around. But as of today, we have official notice that Elden Ring has gone gold. So day one patch as of right now is currently in development. There is a really big kind of basically like a big showcase where they have like designers and developers and marketing teams and gameplay being showcased up over here, which is where we're getting a lot of major info dump when it comes to Elden Ring. So this is in regards to this from the Taipei Game Show in 2022, which means that basically the core development for the game is done and the game is essentially ready for mass production to go and now basically match its release date. So basically we had some devs over here basically stating development is going smoothly. Elden Ring was originally staged for release in January of this year and has been pushed back once to February, but please be assured the title will be ready for sale on February 25th, which is literally music to my ears. The master version has already been submitted, and right now the team is working on a day one patch to make sure everything in this game is just so. They also had a chance to go touch on the length as well. So basically this is saying this will differ significantly for each player, but in terms of the target set during development, the idea is that the main route should be able to be completed within 30 hours or so. But of course, it's kind of in that same style, like say a Breath of the Wild, where there's just a lot of side things, a lot of side chests, a lot of side quests, a lot of side, like, if you guys have played a Dark Souls game, you guys kind of know, you could just go and beeline straight to boss, but a lot of the time, sometimes it's checking corners and sometimes finding random loot and maybe adjusting your build depending on what kind of weapons you want to go utilize and all that type of stuff. So it's very big, and this is awesome news though, because they're basically saying the game is quite massive and contains many dozens of more hours worth of gameplay, but at least for just the pure gaming route, it seems on that side too as well. But they also had some more intriguing things too, where they basically want to make Elden Ring even easier. So they even had a design to reduce player stress without reducing enemy difficulty. So basically they had to try to go and balance it up too as well. So very intriguing to go and see this up in IGN reporting on this, basically saying they revealed that they're focused on making sure new players aren't just overly stressed while playing the game, but also they're trying to make sure the game level is still very at the point of like where it's hard, like where it's not like toning down on the actual gameplay itself, it's not toning down on what we should be experiencing, I guess, from the game, which I think is kind of nice. So maybe kind of have more of a slow crawl into the game to let people kind of feel it, to enjoy it, to hopefully not like get like, you know, down and down and down and down and down, and then eventually quit. maybe have a nice more of a slow crawl up on difficulty, or at least maybe have like a more early game progression. So anyone who's used to the game can kind of steamroll through it and get to the game, and maybe a little bit more on the chiller side. So with them also stating with this, with a game of world being so large that can produce real depth and breadth of enjoyment, but it could also lead to unnecessary stress for some players. The dev team has been very careful to avoid that when possible. With battles already being fairly difficult, you can understand wanting to reduce stress elsewhere. And I would actually maybe agree on that too as well, because if you're stuck on a big boss or stuck in a big mob where everything is a little bit more on the harder side, you don't really want to be lost in a map or not know where to go, or to have like no basically like things to heal yourself. Like that kind of makes sense to me. Like I don't mind like a really hardcore game. I've been playing games forever. I don't necessarily mind it, but at the same time, you kind of want to have a nice balance where it can still be hard and challenging, but not the hardest game in the entire world too as well. And of course, they even did go and reiterate that the enemies and bosses will be as tough as you hope and fear from a new game from the Dark Souls developers too as well. But there's also a lot of good changes too, and I'm okay with that because I feel like you want to have changes, and some big things are more of like being able to go ride a horse as a big part of the focus too as well, to basically go and travel long distances and not have to worry about like your character's stamina and all that type of stuff too as well. And there's a lot of more of the side things, think like Breath of the Wild, where like maybe you have a chance to go and hover, you have a chance to fly, etc, etc. There's also apparently also some fast traveling too as well to make things a little bit easier, a little bit more acceptable to travel. And I do think that seems very, very nice to go and see, mainly because you don't want to have to deal with all this stuff too early. You don't want to have to deal with the issues. You don't want to have to like run across the entire map multiple times. And sometimes having some fast travel is usually very, very nice to go and see. They also want to make sure it wasn't too full or too empty based on encounters, stating the challenge was to place enemies in a way that would keep players interested, but still provide them with a low stress experience. This applies to item distributions too as well, and also in-game events. So basically they've been fine-tuning stuff and trying to make sure everything's flowing really good for the game in general, which I think is awesome. So there's gonna be things like weather effects, there's gonna be other various things too as well with like the rules, and they're just trying their best to make the game as big as they possibly can. So I love this. Like there's nothing really big on the spoiler side for this, but it's nice to see that they are focusing on some quality of life changes and trying their best to make sure everything will be kind of good. Like some areas might be harder, so they may want to try to mess it around with it, maybe try to have better like respawn locations, etc, etc. So it's like just to me, it's just a bunch of quality of life upgrades, which I think are phenomenal. And now before we fully go and show some Elden Ring gameplay in a second, we did also have the nice little Uncharted update, which has also been a nice PS4 to PS5 update too as well, in case you guys are curious, which actually is just nice for a very small fee to go upgrade from your PS4 version. That also will go and carry over your save files as well. And something intriguing to note is that the United States is actually one of the smaller versions of the actual Horizon Forbidden West gameplay, and as well, EU is actually one of the highest, maybe just more localized, say like German, Polish, etc. And also with that. So this is going to be a very beefy game along with, say, Elden Ring. And on top of that too, Forza. So you have to make sure you guys go to your SSDs, link down below. And last but not least, this is some of the gameplay I did want to go and show you guys up here from Elden Ring, where nothing super spoiler. This is actually from the Taipei show itself, so it's been all public already. It's nothing like copyright, I believe, as well. But you guys can actually see, number one, on how smooth the graphics are, gameplay are, etc. It's just a random map in the open world. Nothing spoilery, I got you guys for sure. But it just looks and feels phenomenal. Like, I love the idea how I've played a lot of Dark Souls, Demon Souls type style games, and seeing some of these effects and some of this gameplay look great. As well as you guys can also see some of these larger, basically mobs running around the world itself. And some of the stuff was also accessible throughout the access/early game playtest too, so it's nothing that super crazy. But the early gameplay for this looks great, looks phenomenal, and this is a game I 1,000,000% without any doubt in my mind want to go and see. You guys can also go check out the entire stream if you guys want to, because there's always like little bits and pieces of various other types of gameplay floating around. Like you guys can see little bits of summons and like say like the world environment issues and just random like just a lot of gameplay tied on in. And if you guys have never played a Dark Souls, Demon Souls, Bloodborne type style game, usually it's very unforgiving. As you guys can see, there's just a lot of mobs and they're taking a lot of damage and there's a lot of things going on in front of you. But the one bright side is that this is what I love in a video game. I love the challenge. I love the difficulty. And if you guys are watching a video that's been mainly on Elden Ring, I'm sure you guys could probably understand on why this would be nice. But you guys can see just how big, how in depth the different weapons, different usabilities, and everything on the overworld map so far. And like I said, this is all showcased up in the Taipei showcase earlier on. So this is all, I think, properly vetted and nice showcased up footage, as you guys can see all the devs talking about it. There's been a few like little various things too. Like I said, there shouldn't be anything super crazy on the spoiler side, but this map looks massive. This map looks huge. This looks like something that I cannot wait to go and play. And in all honesty, even like that random bear on top of that tree looking for his honey, this is probably going to be one of my favorite, if not the favorite game I have this entire year. Now, of course, once again, is confirmed. It's going gold. It should be coming out in the near future. And this is making me excited for gameplay. So if you guys are curious on this, like I said, you guys can follow me up on Twitch if you guys want to see some gameplay whenever it comes live, or if you guys also want more Elden Ring footage as we keep on seeing more and more stuff, please leave your comments and thoughts down below, because I would love to have a chance to go and showcase up you guys more stuff as time goes on. But this game has been looking phenomenal, feeling phenomenal, and I'm so excited. So leave a comment down below if you guys yourselves are going to pick up the game in general. And you want to know what? Maybe this year of gaming won't be as bad. Like last year was kind of rough. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. Amazon links down below for the PS5 disc, digital console, and controller. Twitter and Twitch stream as well. Link down below. Sign up for Webull. Deposit $1, get a bunch of free stock for your money. Some of those Samsung links as well down below. I'm trying to see this little thing to go close on it, but I think that's pretty much about it. But I just hope you guys all have a good rest of your days, good rest of your nights. We'll have a few more videos too, and I can't wait to go and play Elden Ring. Love you guys.